I know what you're looking at. Hey dogs, if you don't like the look of that, you're either driving a Ford or a Nissan Patrol, or you like things stuck up your bottom.
Fucked up, man. That'd be gay.
Stop eating sheep shit, Pace. And no, not necessarily gay. In fact, maybe forget about the latter. But this here is the 70 series Land Cruiser, the 79 series. And it is a thing of beauty. And today, I'm measuring to the top bar. Because being a filthy pig hunter means I want a dog box on the back. So I can put my dogs in and go pig hunting. Blackwell's Engineering will make me another bar just like this. That will have a fitting that goes down in here. So we've got an H bar at the back, and then we'll put along that 2 lengths of metal. And that's going to extend my roof rack right to the back, so I can put my Felton rooftop camper on there, or I can throw a kayak up there for kayak fishing. She's raised 40mm. We've taken the factory suspension out, released some of it, and put Old Man Emu in there, because I'm sparing nothing for this beast at all. Underneath here is our winch, 6 tonne of it. And I will fix that back to here with a strap so it doesn't knock around when I start doing some off-road. You think that's a good idea, Poe?
Yeah, not a bad idea.
I like things that fold away like this. And speaking of things that fold away, check out the spare wheel. Traditionally, they're on the back, which is a pain in the ass. You don't want it on the back because it uses up space and it looks silly. At first glance, you could be forgiven for not seeing a spare wheel, but there is one there, right there. And again, stuff that folds down. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just beautiful? Goes in there. That's right, Poe. That's pretty cool, isn't it, dogs, eh? Who thought of that? Yep. There's no rats or mice in there. That's what she's looking for. God help us if we get rats in this one, eh? This beautiful steel deck fabricated by Blackwell's. Isn't that just a thing of beauty? And to keep it all black and looking tickety-boo, we've got this honeycomb design, this tough deck. That stuff is just tough as. You are going to get dog scratch marks on it, but hey, that's what it's for. Speaking of, they put these here on the back, and that's for your dog lead, to tie your dog to the back, which I have done with Johnny so far. But soon I'll have a dog box here. The rhino rack, well, it's not actually a rhino rack. The legs are for the rhino rack. It's actually a Pioneer, and look at this. It's got this ruler built into it, so you can adjust it to where you want to go with it. Now, I paid $1,700 for this, and that's a lot of bicky. The truck itself, stock, is $91,000. That's a lot of bicky. But if you're GST registered, like Clay Tool Stories YouTube Limited is, not this channel, that's my other channel, then you can claim the GST back, which brings it down considerably as a rebate. And then you can buy things like this, and this is beautiful. Because in these slots you can fit anything you want and hold it down. That could be fuel, it could be your drive traps to drive over. They're not called drive traps. What are those things that you put down and you can get out when you're stuck? Well, I know what they are, but they're not drive traps. Brain fart. Comment below if you remember, because I've forgotten. You can strap utility boxes, and the list goes on and on and on. There's so much stuff that fits onto this, so it's made for a purpose. For just having a rooftop camper, I wouldn't invest in that. What I would do is I would stick to my 2 bars here, this bar and the H bar that's going to go at this end, which I haven't got yet, and I would run 2 across, a couple of that way, and that would be cheaper. But this is for all sorts of other stuff. I like roof racks that are flush right along, so you can put timber on top. And this one here, this goes up 20 mils higher, so I might put something in between. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I'm going to play around with that, but the box that's going to go up is not going to go any higher than that, so it will be flush, so I can put stuff right along the whole top. You can carry lengths of timber, and I may even put H frames that go in and out at the front of the truck as well. It's quite a leap down, isn't it, Pace, eh? I might need a step to get up. You guys might need a step to get up too. Now there's a heap to show you guys, and I can't show you all in this one video, because I still don't know all about it, but I do have to show you the donkey. In 2007, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Toyota Land Cruiser brought out their first V8, and that engine has been going for a long time, and they're going to be doing their final one next year. The end will come. The last quarter of next year, they'll stop producing them, and these will be as scarce as hen's teeth. They now bring out a 2.8, but I couldn't see the any logical reason to get that except to save fuel, and it's faster, and there's a whole lot of really good reasons actually, but I couldn't see any myself because I just love V8s. Normally there's a plate here with the engine number on it, which I can't find, but I do know that this engine is a 4.5 turbo V8. It's known as the 1VD FTV, and this is going to keep the sucker cool. Twin going down the side, beautiful, right down onto that to the engine. That's the second air filter in there, basically to capture all the shit. And the first one's up here, and it's made, it cycles to stop the dust going in. So that's your first trap to stop it. Goes down here, beautiful, into the second one, and hopefully captures all the shit before it goes into your engine. And what an engine it is, it's just beautiful. Everything in this truck just spells out beauty. I hear someone say, I can hear it, stop calling it a truck, it's a utility vehicle. Well, no, actually, it's not. It's whatever it identifies as being. And this one definitely identifies as being a truck, but also on my registration form, it says utility vehicle, van, or truck. And that's on the registration. So for everybody that says it's not a truck, absolutely wrong. It is a truck, and I'm calling it a truck. And don't offend it because it identifies as being a truck. I would have liked to have had dual batteries, but they haven't done it in this model here. And there's some things that are a bit weird. If you look at this, it's like they've hired the truck at the wrong end. They've got all this gap here. I think this is, if you are unfortunate enough to whack a human being, it's to crumple up, maybe? Not sure, actually. Just guessing. Being a turbo, this thing tweaked will go like shit. So people are saying the 2.8 is way, it's going to eat this truck. Wrong. This thing tweaked will just eat up your 2.8. Sorry, it will. However, you will want to consider putting in a heavy duty clutch because this engine is so frigging powerful, it will just eat the clutch up that's in there now. I know that for a fact because I've looked at these stats and it just chews them up. It becomes so powerful. But I'm not going to get the tweak yet because I've got a warranty that's like 4 or 5 years on this baby, and it will be devoid if I soup the engine up. The reason being is that once you play around with tweaking it, the gases in here will get so frigging hot. You've got to think about cooling. So this change is going to be made with intercooler and a whole lot of other stuff before you do that. Completely doable. It's a question of how much money you want to spend and how much power you want. And right now, the power in this thing, just the way it is stock, is enough for me. The bonnet is heavy. Oh, that's a workout. And one other thing is this. See that? When you're driving, it flexes. Okay, there's nothing wrong with a bit of flexing, but it does flex. I'm not sure why that happens. It doesn't happen with other models. No, you're not sitting in there. You're not going in their pace. No, you're not. I want to show you guys something which has not changed over years and years of Toyota Land Cruiser. This is like this here, which is 34 years old. That's right. They haven't changed in 34 years. Welcome to the 4.2 naturally aspirated Toyota Land Cruiser. And you are allowed to go on this one, because this one here is my bush basher, and right now it's off the road, but it will go back on. That there is the 76 series. Same V8 engine, 2008. That's my neighbour Murray. It's actually not a bad truck either. They hold their price, they do. Bloody Johnny decided he'd run all the way down to the driveway, to the letterbox, chasing after it. That's why I've got a fence on the property. You silly bugger. What are you going to do, tackle it? This truck for me has been a lifetime dream. Now, the old one here, well, they're not a bad engine they've got on them. She's 4.2 naturally aspirated, and they go and go and go. This is what's known as a mid-wheelbase, not a short wheelbase, a mid-wheelbase with the FRP top. The winch needs replacing, the wire on it's come off, but it still actually works. They're a factory winch, it actually comes out with it on it. I made up shackles for the leaf springs, and I got the leaf springs actually hardened and added to give it a bit of height. I used to have my dogs in the back. This is plastic now because a dog's head smacked it when we're going over bumps and stuff and it hit it. So we need to replace that. But there's a lot of work needs doing on this beast. And I've got a mate right now who's going to start working on that. He's going to start replacing a lot of the metal that's got rust in it because it's well worth looking after. They hold their price. They really are a good truck. Anyway, one of the things I've added is spotlights. And no, you're not coming in pace. Pace down. You're not coming in, mate. Away you go. Away you go. These are adjustable, these Solace spotlights. They are so frigging bright, they go up to 1400 metres. You have to adjust them on the road. And that's exactly what that's for. You can tweak them down or up as you see fit. Also, what you can do is you can adjust your headlights here, like set them up and down more, which is handy. If you've got a trailer on the back, you can actually change the dip on them. The DPF, you can select that manually and put it on if you want to have a clean out, or it goes also on automatic. You can set your headlights to automatic so they dip before a car's coming. I haven't put this on yet and tried it, but I think that's how it works. This is cool. C fittings rather than the big old USB. And the Aussies don't get this, but we do. Check it out. You've got a reversing camera. Lovely, tell your mother. And also, I don't think the Aussie one has all the whistles and bells on the steering wheel like the control for your radio. Which, by the way, is a shitty little speaker, which is what they've always had, and I'm going to change those to some decent Alpine speakers because they sound like a bucket of hairy arseholes rattling around. The dash is functionable, and it's pretty basic too. It's blinking away like a rabbit's eye blinking, but it gives me the outside temperature, which is helpful to me. It's saying it's 14 degrees Celsius outside, and that's helpful because I don't run my dogs in anything over 15 degrees. Because they'll heat up. They'll heat their kidneys, particularly this long streak of duck shit here, and this little wanker, because he runs and runs and runs, and he would cook himself, so we just don't run him in temperature that's that hot. We keep it below 15 degrees if we can help it. You connect up your phone, your Bluetooth, you can do all that talk on your phone, which goes through those shitty little speakers, but basically gives you hands free, which is what you need. Also, I got these beauties. Black duck. Great covers, canvas, so take the boys pig hunting, get blood in it, you can take them out and wash them off, and you keep your seat really clean underneath. They are really good. Plus they look good because they're black, and everything's black looks cool. You can lock this up and put your bolt and your ammunition in there, keep it safe, and of course you've got all that which you need for off-road, but you've also got that, and that trumps anything else. APO, you know that, don't you? Yep, traction control, waste of time in my limited opinion on four-wheel drive. But when it comes to getting stuck, and I get stuck all the time, I just get stuck in life in general, but when you get stuck, your diff lock will get you out, and this comes with a beautiful diff lock that works. So it gets a 10 out of 10 as far as the diff lock goes. I like this, you can choose how much this is bright, because at night I don't want it too bright, I like it to be dimmed down, you know. Because I've got old man eyes and they squint and I don't like it and I get a headache, so I dim them right down and I feel a whole lot better about it. And this baby here, it tells you what the speed limit is outside in case you forget. And when I'm driving that little monstrosity right there, the fair lady, consequently, I forget the speed limit all the time. I got some extra points the other day. I like getting points. They're called demerit points. I got 30. Thank you. Whilst I love my Blackwell's deck, I think that they could have done a better job with all the loomage coming off here. It's all exposed and it could have been made shorter, and it could have had shrink wrap around the outside to keep the water and the mud out. Pretty average job, I would say, and I've told them that too. I think they could have done better. Things like these things here, they should be covered up, you know, it's important. So, gets a solid 4.5 out of 10, that job there. A big black box. There, that's the sensor that tells you if you're going off the road. And that's really handy for us pig hunters because we like driving along, and you dodgy deer stookers too, and you're looking at the hills all the time when you should be looking at the road. So you need one of those to tell you to get your eyes off the hills and back onto the road. But actually not just us pig hunters and dodgy deer stalkers, also you guys that buy these that use them to go to Countdown and drive around the city, because you'll be looking at girls because you're men, that's what men do, and you'll also need to be corrected and get your eyes off her butt and back on the road. So it could save your life, that thing. Oh yeah, underneath our little C-plugs we've got this, isn't that cute, a little doorway. I guess it keeps dust and shit out there, but it's a cute little door. You can open it, shut it, and open it, shut it. Okay, don't get carried away, mate, but that's kind of cool, isn't it? Over $100,000 worth of truck, and they give you this pissy little light. I mean, come on, Toyota, that's tiny. And how much light does that put out? Honestly, it's like one of those little pen torches you had as a kid with one AA battery. That's not very bright. I think they could have done better on that, but hey, no grizzles about it. Airbag in the steering wheel, airbag for the passenger. These trucks, they They drive like a tractor and they don't get a great rating, but they're not for like poncing around, and they're for doing the bizzo, going places. Wow, this is a step up. We actually get electric windows. I can tell you it's been a long time coming. Now this isn't a snorkel, as I've talked about, it's an air cleaner. So you can't go crossing rivers and think you can go and get up to there, because it's a breather, but not a snorkel. You'd have to put a snorkel on if you really want to go and do rivers. And the other thing that I would invest in if you're going to do some like serious crossing of rivers is I would put breathers on the diff, because there's little holes in the top, and I would have tubes coming up so you can breathe, because otherwise you get mud and shit inside your diff. I'm still not sure about surround bars. I've got them on my utility, my ute, my Hilux, and it still gets scratched to fuck anyway, so I don't know about that. This down here, that's tinny. That's Toyota tinny. That can go. I think rock sliders along there with a decent step made out of steel is not a bad idea. I got rid of the factory ones and put these beautiful ROHs on, and of course muddies, because that's just insurance for the places I go. And to match the shitty little speakers inside, they give you this shitty little aerial, which quite frankly looks like grandma's knitting needle. I mean, look at it. I mean, honestly, that's just, yeah, come on. That could be on your mum's Morris Minor, couldn't it? Side mirrors, they're going to end up doing that where I take them. That's good. They need to do that. Got to have a tow bar. Got to have that. That's the pinch bolt that goes underneath. Stops it rattling around. And of course, we would take this right out when we're going hunting, because it's just another thing to get caught up, and it comes out very, very easy. Just slides on out. And it's a must-read about to come out, because a lot of places, that's the thing, when you're going particularly out of rivers and you're coming out the other end, this thing here always gets stuck on shit. So I'd be tearing that sucker right out. What I also love is these beautiful surrounds around the lamps. I mean, isn't that just beautiful? A nice solid housing, stop them getting broken. Reasonably easy to get to where you're doing your oil and your oil change and your grease, putting your grease in. Oil change obviously the engine, but also up underneath here if you're doing that yourself. The universal on the front drive shaft, easy to get to, very easy to get to actually. You change that pretty quick. The engineering on this is superior to my ute. Everything is way more solid. These trucks are built tough. I mean, they are an agricultural utility, and they're designed for things like the mines in Australia. The outbacks in Africa was where they were first designed. And oh my God, I've got a scratch on there already. Yeah, well, it's going to have plenty more of that. I might even get it wrapped. They're designed for working. They're designed for going places and doing shit. And for this steel construction, I mean, this is all just so solid. It can really handle it, can't it, Poe? Yeah, can handle it. It handles the jandle. And I just don't know another vehicle like it. I've never known one. Ineos Grenadier have come out with their sort of version of one, but that's early days yet. It's been out 4 or 5 years. They've got a mixture between a Jeep and this, and I don't think it's going to get close to this as far as lasting and holding its price either. Hunted him for 3 days, and look at his ribs. You would think I don't feed him, but that's just where the condition falls off. Don't like what he's looking at. Sheep. What are you looking at, nut? Hey? Come back in, boy. I know you think you're going for a hunt, but you're not. Anyway, brothers, and the occasional sister watching, I wanted to share my dream vehicle with you. In fact, this vehicle really deserves a YouTube channel of its own. It's got so much more that I could show you, and I'm only scratching the surface, but I'm still learning about it myself. See that? The light's down for a wee while after you turn it off, which is a handy feature for night. It just means you can see things around your shed if you don't have a light. It goes for about a minute, I think. We've also changed the fog lights from the factory ones to these ARB, because that's what we needed to fit inside the new ARB bull bar, because the factory Toyota ones didn't fit, and they did that at a very, very good price for me. In fact, I think the changeover was no different, because they were good bastards that did it. Don't stand there, John, you'll get cut in half, mate. To look after my baby, I've got not one, but 2 cameras, which I'm not going to show where they are, for obvious reasons, but I've got one in case someone finds one as a backup, but they won't, because by the time they find it, if they're there, it'll already send a message back to my phone, so I know they're there. And that's what I would suggest. If you've got a vehicle that means something to you, get some surveillance on it. It's good insurance. Even though I've got insurance, it's good insurance. So I lock her up on the shed, which also means the insurance covers if something does happen. And the insurance on this is expensive because it's commercial insurance, because it's a commercial vehicle for my business. But it's peace of mind. Anyway, brothers and the occasional sister, that was my baby I wanted to share with you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next Bro Chick Club video. If you know a brother who's struggling anywhere in the world, do something nice for him, help him out, because it's not all whistles and bells. And whilst that is something I love, owning a truck doesn't mean you don't have all the other problems that everywhere else. It's still the same. It's just a truck at the end of the day, or a ute, or a van, or whatever you want to call it. It's a possession, and keeping it in perspective, but it's a bloody good possession to have too, and it's something I really cherish. Go steady, and I'll see you next Bro Chick Club video. Right, dogs, let's go. Actually, we'll walk this way, eh? We'll go for another walk on the farm. I feel like pumping the heart and the lungs again. Come on, let's go for a walk. Beautiful evening for it. Lovely evening. Oh, look at that. Magic. Come on. Come on. Heel up.